Okay, guys, Dave in Texas here again, and I'm at the next step of this, where I simply take out the old potentiometers and replace them with the new GIBSON potentiometers. And really, the only trick to doing this that may not seem so obvious to everyone is that you have to actually use some sandpaper on the back of these potentiometers to get a gritty enough spot for that solder to adhere. So that nice GIBSON logo has got to kind of go away. So you want to rough that up really good. I don't know how well you can see that, but you want to rough it up pretty darn good so you get some nice, valleys in that metal plane so that solder can adhere to it. If that makes sense. So you rough these up, and you also want to make sure that when you attach these, that they're attached in the right plane. In other words, downside for these connections, but when it comes down to it, they'll be flipped over to be inserted into the guitar itself. So you don't want to twist it twice around and then up. Does that make sense? So in essence, you're working on it like this. So you just do a complete switch, and then the pot's in position. Very simple. I solder this here, this here, this here, this here. Now, the real big difference in the way this is set up is that normally on a Les Paul connection with a humbucker and, well, two humbuckers, two controls for volume, two controls for tone, you'll have cross wiring that takes place between these potentiometers. That the tone potentiometers will be cross wired and grounded back and forth between these other potentiometers. And you can see a diagram of this in Seymour Duncan. They have an example of that that's exacting. However, after looking at this works. There's no cross wiring. It is grounded basically at the three-way, and that's just about it. There is a grounding on the one volume, and there's also, of course, grounding on the end connector itself. But as it sits right now, all you have to do is score these up like I've done here. Score them up. If I can get a good close shot of this. Score them up nice and rough, as you can see. I hope you can see. Wipe off any excess materials that have come off when I scraped this, as well as sandpaper dust, and then basically just solder them up and put them in. Once I get these all set up and the wiring, I'm going to reuse this wire, because actually it's a better gauge than the gauge I've got from Radio Shack. This is 22 gauge. I've got 18 gauge. It's a thinner wire. Anyway, once I get this done, I'll do another shot of the final installation where I pull these through and get them in position, show you how that's done. But soldering them up is just plain old simple soldering. And I have gone ahead and decided to use these gold metal brackets for mounting purposes. Now, the neck pickup will have springs in it for adjustment. The bridge pickup will not. There's just no space for it. Oops, sorry, wrong pickup. There's just no space for it. It has to be all the way down in order to get high enough up to be close enough to the strings themselves. And it still may need some minor adjustments on these screws themselves, get them closer. Anyway, other than that, it's basically just put it together. Now, I will be switching out bridges later on once it arrives with a roller bridge to get rid of this tune-o-matic I have on it. That'd just be a case of loosening the strings, taking these out, and putting the mounting screws for the roller bridge into these holes, which they fit, and just screwing it down basically. Okay, so Other than that, once that's all complete and finished, I will go work on the nut and replace the nut. Okay? It's just too messed up. I can't work with it. It has to be removed and replaced, unfortunately, which means steaming it and loosening up the glue that they put onto it. It looks like some type of super glue, bond type glue. I use a glue called Gorilla Glue that seems to do the job pretty good, and go from there. Anyway, any questions, give me a holler. Dave in Texas. Have a good one. Bye.